Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic episode of The Left Wing. I am TJ Whitehead, powers taken, not given, joined as always by first-time podcast host John Cooper of Counterpoint Politics. How are you doing today, my friend?
Funny behind-the-scenes lore here. TJ hadn't thought of that until 10 seconds ago. TJ actually does write these in advance, and that wasn't your best one, TJ, but the high-pressure situation, you came up with something.
Listen, you know what? Players play, shoot or shoot. You know, you got to go through. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, and you just get rusty not doing it, John. But it's good to be back on the show. How you doing?
Doing good. It's back to have you. We need to just get you a new job where you don't travel
man, there's no end in sight. You know what? Actually, correction, there is an end in sight, which kind of dovetails into the show. That is the government shutdown. That's there is a very clear end in sight about 6.5 hours away if that goes through. So if there is a government shutdown, I'll still work. I will still be working, but I won't be doing any traveling. We can't do any traveling. There's not going to be any funds for it, so I'll be hanging around. So the month of October might be wide open for as far as traveling goes. So yeah, we're good.
What do you think the chances are? It was reported today that it seems pretty darn likely that it's going to happen. I'm actually a little surprised by that because it's looked like Schumer and Jeffries have been just dying to cave for the past several weeks, but it seems like there is active pushback within the Democratic Party that has pushed them off that path. But hell, who knows? There was a 11th hour chicken out last time. So what do you think?
Yeah, I wish I had a good feeling on it. We talked about it last week at the office and everything, and I said, folks, no, the Democrats cave. They always do. It's what they do best. I'm banking on the fact that they will cave, but they're still holding out. Still 6 hours left, and so I don't know. I really can't say. I have been interested watching Donald Trump talk about the government shutdown, because usually when a government shutdown is looming, the Republicans talk big. Then again, they're usually the ones causing it, But they always talk big. It's like, well, we don't need the government anyway. It's going to be great. Trump clearly does not want one. He clearly doesn't want a shutdown. And I think he's actually overplaying his hand in a lot of ways. Have you heard him say, I've heard him say two things that were kind of wild. The first one is that if we have a government shutdown, I'm going to fire like 1 million people. Like I'm going to fire as many federal workers as I can, which I think is a bluff, but also doesn't make you look good. And second, today he explicitly came out and said, yeah, I'm going to fire a bunch of Democrats. The people who I fire, they're going to be Democrats. Like, okay, one, you can't do that. Even Trump can't get away with that. Second, this makes you look pretty bad. So Trump clearly doesn't want one. So that's giving me some kind of hope.
Yeah, so it's weird because I don't feel like they really focused on this at all. Like, I know that the Trump administration is not one for coordinated messaging strategy.
Right.
But in order to win the government shutdown fight, I mean, it is a messaging war.
Yep.
Like that is what the government shutdown fight is. It's who can convince the American people that it's the other team's fault for this happening. And traditionally, Republicans have had two advantages, let's say three advantages, that have made them win most government shutdown fights. One, they are better at messaging. Not necessarily because they're good at it, but because Democrats are the worst people to ever be assembled on this face of this planet when it comes to public messaging. Number two is Democrats always fucking chicken out because they're a bunch of cowards. They don't want to even risk being seen as the party that shut down the government, so they will usually cave. And three, Republicans just aren't worried about that. They don't want they want the government shut down because they want less government. So it kind of benefits them. So we always lose this fight. But here's the thing: the first pillar of that, the Trump administration is focused on everything but the government shutdown. Their shotgun messaging strategy of fire hose, make everyone care about everything all the time, has actually hurt them, I think, in this case, because they control the government. And so they're kind of starting from behind the eight ball when it comes to winning the messaging war. And the fact that they haven't really fought it until the 11th hour, I think has really hurt them and put them in a bad position and has actually pushed Democrats over the edge of potentially going through with it because they're confident that Americans will blame the party that has control of the White House and both chambers of Congress. So there's that. What do you think, TJ? And you are muted, my friend.
I don't know.
He's gone for a week and he's already forgetting how to use the mute button, guys.
This is like my actual first day. But yeah, I have been worried about the messaging on this because the Republicans, you're right, Trump hasn't been handling it particularly gracefully in a good way, but he does have a cult on his side that the Democrats can't. The Democrats aren't even popular, let alone cultish. I saw something on the interstate while I was gone. I saw a sign for a Trump, a billboard, like a full-size billboard, Trump merchandise store. And I looked at that and I said, wow, I've never seen anything like this. Like not in like a Republican Party, Confederate flag or, Dixie, whatever merchandise store. It was a full-size billboard for Trump merchandise. And I bet business is a booming. I bet the stuff is flying off the shelves there. Now, as long as Trump has that on his side, he's going to have a huge advantage no matter what he says. And true, the facts are that the Republicans control the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. If there's a shutdown, it's got to be their fault, right? That's how this works. But Trump can go out and say, well, actually, this is the Democrats' fault. I think the Republicans will obviously believe it. But I wouldn't be surprised if the American people did either. I just wouldn't. Remember when we were shocked at how high Trump's approval rating actually was, that people take him seriously at all? Well, Trump's a different guy. He's not like your typical politician. Once again, I don't know. To me, all the facts line up that they should blame the Republicans, but the facts have never been on my side as far as public reaction goes the last few years anyway, so I don't know.
So here's the thing. I generally agree with you. Trump has the cult, but here's the problem with that in this particular fight. The cult is about the same portion of the Republican Party who would have sided with the Republican Party no matter what anyway, right? So that isn't really helping him win the hearts and minds in America when it comes to this shutdown. And most of the time, that doesn't really matter to him because most don't pay attention. If you have a large amount of the people who are engaged and paying attention, it's going to benefit you. But in a government shutdown case, that is something that every American will know about and probably care about because they will see an immediate tangible impact on their lives if it goes on for anything more than 24 hours. And that's why you often see the party that's in power make significant concessions because they're going to take damage. And the longer it goes on, it's like inhaling toxins. It's like you might be fine right now, but you might have already inhaled a lethal amount of toxins. And that's the problem with this thing, where if it goes on long enough and it pisses people off enough, you're not going to know that until it's already too late. So you're playing a game of chicken where you don't even know you've lost until it's well over.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's that
you're just not very optimistic.
No, well, nothing ever applies to Trump like it applies to everyone else. That's like it's a wild card with this guy. I really don't know. And you know what? Well, it'll be different because like there were 2 shutdowns under Trump before. And his first, and I'd like to see the polls on that and who people blame for the shutdown, because I think the situations were pretty similar. That could be interesting to see. I don't know how we dig that up. It might be pretty hard to find, but yeah, that could be a different Charlie event there. I wanted to show this clip that Trump is handling this in a professional and well-measured way, just like we would expect. So I don't know if you've seen this post that he shared on his Truth Social, which, by the way, if you guys haven't checked out Trump's Truth Social account or gone to Twitter and found the account that shows Trump's Truth Social posts, they are a gold mine. Like, even if you hate Trump like we do, there will be some fantastic posts. And this is one he posted yesterday or today. And it's an AI video, not just the sombrero and the mustache on Hakeem Jeffries, but the audio is AI too. And he posted this. This is what's going on in our fearless leader's head.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
All right, John, my question on this with these things that Trump posts, like Colby commented here, honestly, that was one of the funniest things he's ever posted. Now, John, do you want to see more of this? Because I hate this, honestly. But I've given up a long time ago on playing the decorum card, saying that this is beneath the dignity of statesmen and people in power and our politicians, or you just say, look, fuck it. This is the world we're living in. Just roll with it. I want to see every politician posting nonsense like this.
So here's the thing, TJ. I hate Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer arguably more than I hate Donald Trump. So poking fun at them in a very derogatory way, I'm always on board with. And in fact, if it was just the Chuck Schumer part, I would have been like, yo, that was pretty good. That was well done. I hate the AI thing. Like, I think we should make AI like deep fakes like that, like very fucking illegal, so that you'll never see this happen, because there's probably
Say about me
of the people who saw that video thought it was real. But if
God, you're right.
Sombrero and music on Hakeem Jeffries, I would have said that was all pretty fair game. Like, in terms, like, I wouldn't call it like offensive or anything. I mean, it's incorrect and lying about shit and whatever, but I think the messaging is perfectly fine with it. The sombrero and Hakeem Jeffries, I actually like. It's almost kind of meta funny because he's not.
Yeah, what was up with the sombrero?
Yes, I can't help but laugh at that.
Yeah, I was just like, why did they go with the sombrero and the Mexican music? I don't know.
He's brown.
Yeah, he's brown. We'll just let it roll. I don't know. And then again, it could be bad. A lot of people don't even know who he is. But I didn't think of it this just now, but I saw Hakeem Jeffries' response to this, and I was just searching for it now, and I couldn't find the entire clip. I hope this is right. I'm look pretty stupid, but here's him talking about that clip. Let me think.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, say it to my face.
Hold on. Let me get this here. All right.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, say it to my face. The board.
Oh, you know what? Fuck it. Well, anyway, the actual clip that they actually cut between Hakeem Jeffries talking, because he was up on stage saying, and to the president, the next time you have something to say about me, say it to my face. And I wanted to play the entire clip there because I found out a few months ago, actually, that it's not necessarily so much that I think Hakeem Jeffries is incompetent. I don't think he's, super competent, but he's just not the right spokesperson. Like, the fact that his title actually has speaker in it is hilarious to me. That this is the guy we chose Speaker of the House. Like, this is the man that's set to lead the troops here. And Chuck Schumer, this applies to as well. That, listen, when your job is to head up the party, we need someone with a little more. I will say Chuck Schumer does have more energy and passion to him, but Hakeem Jeffries does seem like something Elon Musk tries to create, like an automaton that mimics human speech. And it's Jesus Christ, how is he getting this job?
So Chuck Schumer, he's he's Joe Flacco, right? He's an aging veteran who had it at one time, but clearly doesn't any longer and needs to get the fuck out of a football uniform 10 years ago. Hakeem Jeffries, he is the rookie quarterback that everyone knew was going to be a bad draft pick the moment he was drafted. Then he goes out there and just throws 5 interceptions a game. And you're like, oh, yeah, no, he's exactly who we thought he was. Like, I don't know how he became Speaker of the House. Like you said, Speaker's right there in the job title, and he can't. It's incredible. Like, it's at least with Chuck Schumer, I'm like, oh, he's an old dude. Like, obviously, what he says isn't necessarily going to appeal to me, but at least I can tell he's trying, and maybe it appeals to old people. Hakeem Jeffries is trying to appeal to me and failing miserably every single time. It is sad to watch. It's incredible that these are the two guys that we have leading our party in this moment. Absolutely mind-blowingly unbelievable. The just negative charisma. Say it to my face, motherfucker. Who do you think you sound tough? Do you think that Hakeem Jeffries went back to his team and they were like, yo, Hakeem, you really killed that shit?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, maybe it doesn't matter. I would like to know how he got this job. I would like to ask Nancy Pelosi. If I had 5 minutes, just to speak to Nancy Pelosi, it's like, okay, I've got to know, how did you choose this guy as your successor? I mean, there were hundreds of people you could have chosen, and that's the guy that you roll with. By the way, like you mentioned, Chuck Schumer. He's old. He's getting up there, but he had some hits, in the year, so you can see why. We'll give the old guy his dues on the way out. So I looked up. Hakeem Jeffries is 55. First off, yep, older than I thought. Guy looks great. I must admit,
Yeah.
he does. He does
Credit
not
there. Credit there.
Yeah, he does not look 55, so he looks great. But man, you've been in this game for a while, or at least you should be old enough to know that, hey, this is what works. This is what inspires people. But I don't know. I really don't know what to say with Hakeem Jeffries there.
Just not like specifically on those two, but with the Democratic politicians in general. I loathe the ones that clearly can't do it, yet decide to take someone else's spot anyway. Like Hakeem Jeffries must know, so there must be some part of him inside of him. Same with Chuck Schumer, both of them, that they're like, this is one of the most important moments in American history. This could go so badly, and we need a strong opposition party. And they look around, and they must recognize that they are not the best person for this job. Like, they must. There's no way they look at themselves and go, no one could do this better. And maybe they do. Maybe they think they're the best person for the job, and they're just that utterly delusional. But probably they look around, they're like, AOC, much better at this. Even Bernie, in his fucking mummified form, way better at inspiring the masses. I just can't do it, and I'm going to do it anyway, even though I know what a high-leverage situation we are in right now, and fuck them for that. Just fuck. They don't have to be, like, they could live in Congress for the rest of their lives without being party leaders, and they choose to hold that spot instead of giving it to someone who obviously could do it better, and it's so fucking selfish.
Yeah, that's true, but also anyone who thought like that probably wouldn't be in that position to begin with. It's kind of like a chicken egg thing, that, yeah, first off, to be a politician, your ego must be insane. It must be like the ego that it takes to do like social media content is through the roof already. Trust me.
Even we go like, oh, well, that might be a bit much.
Right. Yeah, that's the stratospheric to us. We can't even imagine. But to just think about having the thought in your head that, hey, I have all these ideas and these things to say. People need to hear it. Not only do they need to hear it, they need to hear it from me. They need to hear it from me while seeing my face and hearing my voice. Like, you got to think you're that important. And then you got to think next level as politician. They have to hear these ideas, see my face, and actually, I should be in charge of crafting these laws. I mean, that's wild to think you could bear that responsibility. And then to think I could lead the whole party. I could be the chief representative of one of the two major political parties in the House of Representatives or in the Senate. That kind of person is not stepping down. It's kind of like how Joe Biden didn't want to step down, or Ruth Bader Ginsburg didn't want to step down, or Donald Trump actually worked for Donald Trump. But like folks like this, like they aren't going anywhere. So I do kind of get it that this kind of person wouldn't do it. And with
at least Donald Trump's honest, bro. Like, at least Donald Trump is in it for himself. He doesn't give a shit about anyone else.
Yeah.
I don't look at him and go like, you're being hypocritical right now, bro. When Hakeem Jeffries tells me this is serious, we need to fight Trump, I'm like, well, then fucking step down, bro. Like that's the best thing you could do if you actually thought Trump was a serious threat, and you're not doing it. So what the hell are the rest of us supposed to think?
Yeah. And with I was gonna say the thing with Jeffries and Schumer that you were saying, how they're not the people for the job. A lot of times when we critique these folks, it's like we always make fun of Chuck Schumer coming out with yet another strongly worded letter. And people say, oh, well, what do you want him to do? Do you want himself to, chain himself to the walls, to the hall Supreme Court? It's like, listen, we don't even need something like that. Because we were always talking about like stuff we would do where every day I would be dragging someone out. Like anyone I found in America, say, yeah, this person lost their business because of the tariffs. This person's grandmother was carted away by men in unmarked vehicles wearing masks and deported to Guatemala. I would be doing that stuff all the time. But even if you can't set the bar that high, you could at least inspire people. And I get it. You're not going to want to have a bunch of members of Congress arrested, fine, but you should at least galvanize support amongst your folks. And if you can't meet that, if that's not something you're up to, look, it's like in Mad Men when Don Draper fired his secretary. He said, look, this job's not for you. It's not an insult. That's just reality. It's like, look, that's what you got to face sometimes. These jobs aren't for everybody. This was not a good fit for you. Find something else.
I know it's absolutely like they people act like when we criticize them. They act like we're asking a lot of a politician to say, hey, maybe give an inspiring speech. Like if the bar for a politician is below give an inspiring speech, bro, I don't know what you want. Colby actually asked a question here because we're talking about Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. And this is our Q&A show, by the way. So if you have a question for us, make sure to drop it in the comments. But Colby says, what do you think will happen first, a Mamdani endorsement or self-reflection? And here's the thing, Colby. In order to get a Mamdani endorsement, you will need self-reflection, and you're getting neither. It's that is one of those things. Like when it was first, like first couple of days after the primary win from Mamdani, I was like, okay, we'll give him time, whatever. The fact that neither of them have endorsed Zohran Mamdani is batshit insane. Absolute batshit insanity that the two leaders of the Democratic Party have blatantly refused to endorse the Democratic candidate for mayor of New York City. Just buffoonery.
I don't understand what they think the downside is. I genuinely don't. Because, all right, if I'm like, let's steel man this argument here for them. They're going to say, okay, there's no benefit in us endorsing Zohran Mamdani when he has these positions that are, further to the left of us when it comes to Israel and Gaza. He is also openly advocating for social democratic policies. And this is going to open the door for Republicans to say that Democrats are anti-Semitic, that they're anti-Israel, and to say that Democrats are communists. And we don't want that.
God forbid they say that.
That exactly. Like, honestly, I have not heard a retort to this because, look, if that wasn't already the case and you were afraid of that, okay, I can get that, but it's already the case. My entire adult life, I have heard Republicans call Bill Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Paul Begala, every Democrat you can think of as a communist, a Maoist, and just violently anti-Semitic. It's like that's not going to change. I guarantee that if we look at the ads against Chuck Schumer and against Hakeem Jeffries from last year or 4 years ago, they're all going to say that. So what are you worried about? I don't know. It just makes you look bad to the Democrats too, because especially folks like us, where we've been berated by, hey, when the Democrats elect somebody or they pick someone in the primary, don't criticize them, shut the fuck up, just get in line, vote blue, and, just deal with what you got. But when it happens to them, they're like, oh, I don't know, that looks a little rust. I don't want to do that. It's insane.
And Colby says, okay, but who's your favorite communist president, current or former? Definitely, I would have to say, I don't know. I was hoping I'd get a good joke in there by the time I finished the sentence.
Yes, I've been there. Doing that myself, and I was like, I'm sure I could come with a funny one right now, but yeah, I don't know.
No, I mean, it's all the same joke. It's all the same joke. They're all every Democrat's communist, and every single Republican. Not every single Republican's a fascist. That's a relatively new thing, but a lot of them have.
Yeah, who's to say? What didn't Kamala Harris call Trump a communist for bailing out the farmers? Did she do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
She called him a communist dictator, and I got flack from the fucking Blue Mog over this, and I was like, Kamala, what the hell are you doing? Like, Kamala, your father is professor of economics. He teaches classes on Karl Marx. You know goddamn well what the definition of communism is, and you're gonna sit here and tell me that that Donald Trump is a communist dictator. Go fuck yourself. Like, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, you know what you're doing. You know that they always use communists as an insult, and that hurts the actual communists and people like us who might not say they're communists, but align more closely with the communists than they do with you. We got berated for not voting for you, even though me and TJ fucking did, but we get berated for it every fucking day on social media nonetheless. And you're going to sit here and use communist as an insult and expect people and then berate people for not voting for you. Go fuck yourself.
I heard that, and I was I don't know. I'd like to know the thought process here, because listen, I will gladly admit that there's a lot about realpolitik and stagecraft and sending a message that might be disingenuous or just not true or subversive, and it might not reflect your values, but it could be helpful politically. I get it. I absolutely understand. I don't see it here. Like I just don't. Because the only people who would be shaken by Kamala Harris saying that Donald Trump is acting like a communist dictator would presumably be conservative. You got all the Democrats, right? You got them on your side. You don't got to convince them of anything, but you're going to tell like conservatives, people who would run into traffic for Donald Trump. They would do anything for this guy. And hearing you say that he's a communist dictator is going to move exactly zero people. Like none of them. I just don't get the plan here.
It's the exact kind of like liberal elite think tank ideation of just sitting there thinking like, what will convince the commoners that Donald Trump is a dictator? What if we called him a communist too? I'm sure that'll get them. We obviously know the difference, but they won't. They'll just hear scary word and be scared. It's like, that's not the only people you're convincing are the people who are already on your side, which is fine. You can do that. You can call him a dictator. You should continue to call him a dictator, but do it in a way that doesn't alienate your own fucking party. That's the part that just blows. You could have just said dictator, or hey, you want to add another scary word in? Authoritarian dictator, totalitarian dictator. I know that those things are oxymorons, but it doesn't fucking matter. They're redundant, but fucking doesn't even fit. I don't know what you want from me.
All right, two things. Do you remember why she said he was a communist dictator? I don't. I thought it was for, what was it for? For bailing out farmers. That might not have been it. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was. So it had something to do with the farm. It was just an interview, and like to be charitable to her, she didn't straight up say Donald Trump is a communist dictator, even though that's what the headlines ran. She said, we spent years in this nation fighting communist dictators, and now we have one.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump or something. I'm paraphrasing here, but it was like that. And so the idea she was trying to push was, hey guys, America's enemies have always been communist dictators. We have one now. He's bad, just like Gorbachev was. And it's like, yeah, no, it's just not. It's not.
No, who's buying that? Who's buying that?
Yeah. Again, the only people who are going to be extra scared of a communist dictator who wouldn't have been motivated by the dictator part of it are conservatives. They're not voting for you.
You know what I would do if I were Kamala Harris, if I were in her shoes? And I'm not joking. I am 100% serious on this. If I were Kamala Harris and I just went through...
About to say, I can't wait to hear it.
No, I don't know if you do, but if I went through everything she went through and I had just been... I mean, it hasn't been that long, but I don't think people have really talked a lot about how vile the Trump campaign was against Kamala Harris. Like you had conservative talk shows calling her Kamala Harris and how she slept her way to the top. I mean, just the word, she's not really black, just horrible shit. Just call him a fat orange fuck. Just say that. Just get on TV and say, yeah, Donald Trump's a fat orange fuck. And watch the Republican response. Just watch the response, how it goes. And listen, you would lose zero support. Zero. Nobody that supports you already would fall off. And other people be like, yeah, he's right. He is a fat orange fuck. I'm glad someone finally said it out loud. But you have there's nothing to lose by saying that right now. Like, you're not going to become less popular. And if you do decide to run again, it's not going to hurt you. It's only going to make you more endearing to your base. I don't know why she doesn't just pull that card. I would.
So that's not what specifically I was going to say, but it's along the same lines.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm actually, like, if you remember, I was pretty happy with Kamala. Like,
yeah,
she isn't my number one pick on any ballot, but of all of the people that could be the Democratic candidate for president, I was like, Kamala's actually pretty darn progressive. She's a very progressive voting. Like, she could kind of be sneaky pretty good. Again, relative to the other options you might typically expect. And what she could do is just go full mask off. Kind of what you were saying there. It's just like, yeah, Donald Trump's a fat orange fuck. Kind of the same vein is just like, I lost. I lost playing by the rules that Joe Biden and the rest of the Democrats wanted me to play by. You know what? I was wrong for listening to them. Donald Trump is a fat orange fuck. Chuck Schumer shouldn't be the Senate Majority Leader. We need new leadership in this country. This is the real fucking me. And this is what I actually believe in and I'm going to fight for. If she came out and did that, I would listen. I would listen to what she's saying. I'm not saying it would definitely work, but continuing to be your current version of yourself clearly will not.
I wouldn't. I don't think I'd go after Chuck Schumer. I don't. I would still hold fire off from the Democrats. I don't know if that would help her out, but
I would have it for everyone, TJ. She has this woman scorned narrative that she could lean into hardcore that could peel a lot of Chicago away from the Democratic Party and then jettison her right at Donald Trump.
The only people I would turn my guns on if I were Harris were people who I trusted and lied to me or set me up or something, like for a personal vendetta. Like I wouldn't go after people in power who weren't directly related to my campaign. I don't know. I just think that it would. But anyway, yeah, I think that whether you run or not, it makes you more endearing to the populace. Yeah. I just don't see a way around it.
And that's kind of what we were saying, TJ. Like that's what we're saying. It's like we don't need these politicians to be fucking getting arrested, but like do something.
Do something.
Command the news headlines. Just like fight Donald Trump at his own game. Try. Do something different. Always, every day should be something new. And we get the same thing every day.
Yeah. And there are plenty of things you can do. Like, what was that guy's name? Al Green, who got kicked out of the State of the Union.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great. Not only was it great, there should have been 40 Al Greens. I hear an echo. Is that? I don't know what's up with that, but I hear 40 there should have been 40 Al Greens in that speech. After Al Green stood up and started yelling at the president, got kicked out, there should have been another person stand. That speech should have taken 7 hours because people kept interrupting him. That would send a great message. And like, what are they going to do? Oh, we're mad, you guys. And Colby says she'd lose the Ezra Kleiners. I don't think she would. If she said Donald Trump's a fat orange fuck, the Ezra Kleiners would whine, they'd complain, but if she ran again, they'd vote for her. And now if she started, I think she started.
She has that name, like she has the buy-in from them already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think she started sharpshooting too many Democrats. She could find herself in Bernie AOC territory where she'd lose the Ezra Kleiners. That's why I wouldn't recommend her doing it. But if she just wants to just go, like John said, full mask off and start not just Trump. I should say that, not just Trump, just like go after Republicans. Now, John, if you permit me, there's something I want to talk about here. It has nothing to do with any of this.
I see like the thumbnail of what you got pulled up, and I have not seen it before, so I don't know where we're going here.
I heard about this today. I'm not sure how old this video is. It's probably a couple of days old, but it's some guy on TikTok who is threatening to release evidence that Mike Johnson is on Grindr. But let's see what this guy has to say. Actually, let's see the whole video here.
Hey, here's a message for Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Pay attention, bud. This is for Mike Johnson. If you're not Mike Johnson, you can keep scrolling or you can stay here and listen to what I have to say. Hey, Mike, you have until Wednesday to swear her in. Wednesday. Or I will release your Grindr profile and your IP address. I bring receipts, bitch. You're not going to sit there and actively work against LGBTQ rights and democracy. It is treason. Yeah, I'm calling you out for treason. You have until Wednesday to swear her in and let democracy take its course, or I will release your Grindr profile and your IP address. Connects both to you, Mike. The choice is yours. Do the right thing. Because I'm petty. And I'm not above this bullshit. Go fuck yourself.
All right, there's 2 things I want to say about this real quick. First is this guy has a follow-up video he made. I saw as well. I didn't see it when I was searching, but he says that he's been sent threats and he's hired a team of lawyers to help him out and everything. And now he's, scared and nervous. Number two, I don't fucking believe this guy. I'm not as in, wow, this is crazy. No, I think he's lying. And this is I don't know. To me, it's kind of obvious that he's lying. I keep seeing people talk. Have you seen that, John? You said you recognize the guy.
No.
Okay. I think he's lying because, one, it doesn't make any sense. If you have the goal of saying that you want to potentially damage Mike Johnson's political career, and you have evidence proving it, why wouldn't you just release it? Why wouldn't you just release it? Why would you publicly blackmail someone? And let's focus on that. Public blackmail defeats the purpose of blackmail. Okay, can we just make that like that's not how it works, that you say it privately? Because let's say it's real. It's not, but let's say it's real. And Mike Johnson just saw that you threatened to release this information unless he swears in this member of Congress he's dragging his feet and swearing in. How does he know you won't just release it anyway? Well, what's his incentive to actually go through with this and not be punished? I see this all the time. I remember a couple of years ago, the same thing came out when Grindr, I think it was someone who said he worked at Grindr, said, I'm going to release the profiles of all the Republicans who are on Grindr unless they start supporting LGBT causes. Just fucking release it. They're not going to. That's not how this game works. You guys are just bullshitting. And you hadn't seen that, so I guess there's not much to say, but that was, what did you think about that? What you saw?
I'm kind of with you on this. There's a couple different layers to this. I kind of just believe him, gut check. I test here. I believe he believes that this is real and will work. But if Republicans didn't know how to camouflage their Grindr accounts so that they wouldn't be outed publicly, we would have seen all of their Grindr accounts by now.
Mm-hmm.
We would have already. This all would have already been public information. We know that the RNC is Grindr Super Bowl. This is something that is just a matter of public record. Mike Johnson, I don't know if he's on Grindr, nor would it change my opinion of him if it did, because I don't give a shit. I'm sure it would hurt him with Republicans, but what he's dragging his feet on this because she is the final vote. This woman that he's not swearing in. He's dragging his feet as long as possible because she is the winning vote that Democrats need to get the Epstein files released. Motherfucker, if you think that he's more worried about his Grindr account getting released than the Epstein files, I got that's not how blackmail doesn't work. Blackmail doesn't work. It's just hey, if you don't release this incredibly damaging information to you, I'm going to release less damaging information to you. Look out, buddy.
Yeah, that's just it's insane. And I've just seen so many people talking about, oh, this is it, we got him now, folks. You guys are so gullible. You guys are so fucking gullible. I just can't. How long have you been at this game? And I want to add on to what you mentioned, John, that it wouldn't change your opinion of him if you found out that Mike Johnson was gay. First off, very homophobic of you. Not cool, John. I thought you were an ally and you're going to attack someone who's part of the queer community. I don't know if we can keep doing this show, buddy. But second, it wouldn't change it. I don't know if I said this on the show. I'm surprised this hasn't happened yet. It's political.
High profile Republican being outed as gay. Yeah, no, I'm very surprised.
Well, not necessarily being outed as gay, but at least saying it. Because I think it's political malpractice. Republicans have to do this. If I were a Republican, whether gay or otherwise, I would get on stage and I would say, my name's TJ Whitehead and I am gay. Or at least I have had attraction to men for my entire adult life. But you know what? Through the power of Christ, I've overcome it. I struggled with this for a long time, but I am a positive product of conversion therapy, and I now no longer am attracted to men. I've only dated women, and this is evidence that our conversion therapy does work. Why haven't they done this? Why haven't they? How could you prove them wrong? How could anyone say, well, Kobe wrote favorite new TJ quotes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Seriously though, how could anyone prove you wrong? And listen, and if you did attack them and say, "Oh, so now you don't believe queer people," it's right there. It's right fucking there. I can't believe they haven't done this more. So if Mike Johnson, this once again, the guy doesn't have shit, but the guy comes out and says, I got proof that Mike Johnson was gay. Mike Johnson says, "Listen, I struggled with homosexuality, but as of last week, I have converted, and now I'm straight as an arrow again. I want to thank God and Christ for delivering me from evil." Right? Why not?
I mean, that would work for Mike Johnson too. Like specifically for Mike Johnson, I would buy that he isn't lying about it. Like I would buy that
lying about it.
he submitted himself into conversion therapy. Like his parents were probably all loving and supportive, and they're like, "Oh, it's okay, buddy." He's like, "No, this goes against God. I'm conversion therapying myself." And he sends himself to conversion therapy camp, and he convinces himself that he isn't gay. And to this day, he actually believes it, even while a dude's dick is in his mouth. Like I would believe every single word of that story.
Yeah. I don't know. It's right there. I think it's like ridiculous. Republicans haven't done it. Why the fuck not? But we'll see. I thought there was one more Trump. I wanted to share the Pete Hegseth thing. You saw the headline, I'm sure. But yeah, there was
multiple things from there. Like, the headline of the show, the war on fat soldiers. I actually didn't see the fat soldiers part. I don't know what that's referring to. I don't think I saw that.
Okay. All right. I'll get that. But Donald Trump, I want to get to Donald Trump. One more clip here. Trump has been sharing a lot of AI posts, and which is just weird, by the way, that he does that. But this one is an AI post he shared of an announcement that he made. Like Donald Trump never said any of this, but he did post it on his Truth Social. Here we go.
Breaking now. President Donald J. Trump has announced a historic new healthcare system, the launch of America's first medbed hospitals and a national medbed card for every citizen.
Every American will soon receive their own medbed card. With it, you'll have guaranteed access to our new hospitals led by the top doctors in the nation, equipped with the most advanced technology in the world. These facilities are safe, modern, and designed to restore every citizen to full health and strength. This is the beginning of a new era in American healthcare.
In this first phase, only a limited number of medbed cards will be released. Registration details will be announced very.
Okay, I couldn't believe it when I saw that. Now, if you guys didn't see the med beds that they showed there, apparently it's part of some sort of like QAnon conspiracy thing, whatever. But if you've ever seen Elysium, or if you've seen what was the Alien prequel, Prometheus, where they have like the tubes that you lay down in, and a robot just cures any disease you have. Like that's what they're talking about. Obviously, something doesn't exist. But Trump shared that clip about him issuing people medbed cards, him talking about issuing medbed cards and the existence of medbeds. And he eventually deleted it, but it's like, wait a minute, why did he share that? Did he think he said that? Did he just assume that was real and that he just didn't remember this massive step in medical technology? Had you seen that?
This is something I hadn't seen. The first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, the first time I'm hearing about this.
We will make that joke on this show for the rest of time. There's so many levels of weird to that. Like, we'll start with just, did he think he was? Did he? Because there's two options here, neither of which aren't fucked up. Either he saw that clip that someone else made and thought that he said it and that it made him look good and was like, well, fuck, I look good, let's share it, which is borderline senile. Or two, he made that himself. He made an AI of himself talking at a desk he sits at every day. Now, I hate to give professional notes, but it's not that hard to sit at my desk and talk to my camera and say what I need. Like, I do it every fucking day, and he could have just done that, but instead he makes this AI. Like, those are the only two options here. And then, regardless, what the fuck does the video even mean? What are they making fun of? Are they making fun of universal healthcare?
That, you know what?
Is that what the joke is supposed to be? I'm actually very
I
confused
don't
what the message is intended to be here.
I don't think it's supposed to be a joke. I think it's supposed to be, hey, Donald Trump has just approved this major breakthrough in medical technology. I once again, I know like conservatives don't make any sense when they have their idea of what
This
healthcare
one,
should
I
be.
don't even know what they think they're saying. Usually I can at least say, oh, well, this is what they're trying to say.
Yeah,
I have no idea what the message here is.
yeah. Trump, I don't know. Trump seemed to share it as if he approved it because usually when it's something bad, he'll say, "Hey, look how terrible this is." But he's like, "Oh, look at this. This is great. Let's just retweet this, whatever." But I don't know, weird stuff.
There is TJ, by the way, since you said it, like you like some of the AI shit. There is definitely a video essay to be made out there for some enterprising young YouTuber that has the time to write one about conservatives and AI, because like it's weird. They fucking love it. There's something about the conservative ideology that makes them see AI technology and they're like, I fucking love this. I want to use it every day. It's so cool. And I hate it. Like, do you also get like usually?
John,
I'm just like fucking revolted by whatever I see with AI. Occasionally, I'll see one on Chuckle every once in a while, but most of them suck anyway. And it's just like, why does this appeal specifically to them? And I know Democrats use it too, but it definitely is more of a conservative thing. And there's something there. I just don't know what the thesis statement is yet.
I don't know if it's necessarily split with conservative and liberals because I'm with you. I have a visceral hatred towards 90% of AI shit. There's some that I really love. I'll get to in a little bit, but like most of the time when I see stuff like that, or I saw this post and it was talking about how this ridiculous video of an old lady, a lady holding a rock, and the lady looked like she weighed. You see that? Yeah, she weighed like 600 pounds, and then she falls in the water, and a dog rescues her, and this little girl. PS2 level graphics, and it looks ridiculous and everything. And it's like millions of people are applauding it and hearting it and saying, "Oh, what a good boy" on Facebook, and people like it. I think it's an intelligence gap. It's kind of like like you watch your dog play, and the dog rolls around and shit. You're like, wow, that's not something I would ever enjoy. Like the smarter you get, the more complex and interesting your entertainment is. And that's what I think it is. I think that the dumber you are, the more likely you are to just fall into this rabbit hole of, oh, this horrendous slop that, anyone like 1,000 monkeys on typewriters could have put together is just like the best entertainment I've ever seen. I think that's the actual gap, which just happens to superimpose very well with conservative and liberals on one side. That's just kind of how it works that way. But there are examples. I don't know if you've seen this. I just ran across this on TikTok last week. But there are these videos of this lady singing about how things work, like modern Marvel shit or whatever. The first one I saw was a video of her singing about why train tracks have rocks underneath them. Something I'd never even thought of before. Like, why are train tracks, undergirded by a bunch of rocks? Fascinating. I learned so much from that 1.5-minute video of this lady singing, and it's an AI video where they just it's like Sesame Street for grown-ups. They just take stuff and explain, why it is. And this lady singing this really cute song. Now, in the eventual war between humans and AI, I'm gonna tears in my eyes, I'll have to shoot the AI lady singing about the right. And it'll be so sad, John, because I hate to see her go because she's great. All the rest of the AI can go away, but I'm with you. It's terrible. All right. Oh shit, 9 minutes. All right. Pete Hegseth. Gotta do Pete Hegseth. Sorry. All right. So our glorious Secretary of War, an actual thing now, John. Have we ever even talked about that? I don't even remember we talked about it in the show. It's been so long.
I don't think we deigned to give it any time. It's fucking ridiculous.
But his office actually says Secretary of War on the outside. They had people, take it down and hang it up. And Pete Hegseth will
less badass name. Can we all agree that Secretary of Defense sounds way more badass than Secretary of War? Like Secretary of War sounds like a made up fictional title that like he's like you sound like just like, oh, a god of whatever. Like no, you're not. Secretary of Defense sounds badass as shit. I don't know.
What? Oddly enough, you're right. A Secretary of Defense does sound cooler than Secretary of War. It just does. And Secretary of War is like has a bad connotation too. That I think it's just kind of ingrained to us that, oh, that sounds offensive and offensive. You know, it's just something that you don't want to put out there. But I don't know. It doesn't matter with Trump. Now, this is a speech Pete Hegseth gave. I don't know if this is actually when he had the generals meet, but or afterward. But he's talking about how he's sick of seeing troops out of regulation. I apologize. Every video I found of this, the first like 40 seconds has like this weird buzz in the background. It goes away, but it's just there. So let's see what by the way, the Honorable Pete Hegseth. Like if you're on a military base and you look at these people's titles, the Secretary of Defense, it'll be written as the Honorable Pete Hegseth. All right, let's go.
It all starts with physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations or really any formation and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already, but we're codifying it. And we're not talking like hot yoga and stretching. Real hard PT, either as a unit or as an individual. At every level, from the Joint Chiefs to everyone in this room to the youngest private, leaders set the standard. And so many of you do this already. Active, Guard, and Reserve.
All right, and I think the critique here is kind of obvious with Pete Hegseth talking about physical conditions and standards when Pete Hegseth is like a known alcohol problem. Like every time you see every other video, you see this guy drinking, him admitting that he's had problems with this, and not to mention his moral deficiencies or whatever. But yeah, unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people. I actually saw some headlines saying that Pete Hegseth fat shames soldiers. I actually saw that. It's like, no, folks, that's a thing. That's already the Army standard, by the way, that you have to take your PT test twice a year. You have to have your height and weight done twice a year to make sure you're within Army regulations or every other branch of regulations too. But just hearing Pete Hegseth is kind of rich coming from this guy. That, yeah, he can run, but can he control his drinking?
So before I jump into the analysis, I have a genuine question.
Sure.
I get weight. Is it like height and weight, as in like OBI? Or is it like if you're too tall or too short, you can't be in the military? Like, is that what it means?
So the answer is yes to both questions, but he's only talking about one. So yes, there is a height limit for being in the military. I think the limit is women have to be between, I think, 4'10" and 6. I don't know what the upper limit is for women. I don't know. But men have to be between 5'2" and 6'8". Now, you can be outside of those ranges, but you will need a waiver. And the reason that they have those limitations for the height, it's because they're afraid you wouldn't be able to fit into their equipment, like, tanks or planes or stuff like that. And for the lower limit, like if you're a guy and you're 4'10", they think you might have some sort of like physical disability, or if you're a woman and you're below, you're like 4'8" or something, you might have physical disability, or if you're a guy and you're too tall. But what he's talking about is like height and weight standards. Like, so if you're, I don't know, say you're 5'10", you can't weigh more than 185 pounds. And if you're 6 feet, you can't weigh more. I know this one is 208 pounds. You can't weigh more than that. And if you weigh more than that, you have to have a body fat test to see if you. So that's what he's talking about. Your body fat percentage.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just dumb. It's just, like I said this today on Threads. I don't understand in the era of modern warfare where battles are won with remote piloted drones. The FBI is drilling into your wall right now, DJ.
They got me.
I like. Why do I give a shit if like I get it, like if you're a Navy SEAL, yeah, no, totally, yeah, they should have fucking like they're going to anyway. Like that's the job they're signing up for. But I don't understand why does a 4-star general need to be in shape? Like what? Why? They are valuable because of their brain. Their body ain't doing shit for me. Their body ain't helping the U.S. military win wars. So who the fuck cares? I do not understand. You're telling me you got the best fucking hacker in the world. He can hack into any fucking military system of any of our enemies. But we're gonna cut him from the military because he couldn't run a fucking 10-minute mile. I don't understand why this is relevant to modern fucking warfare.
John, you don't understand tradition, my friend. You don't understand military customs and courtesies. You have no fucking respect for leadership and decorum, esprit de corps. You clearly don't know what you're talking about. Like you're kind of right, but still, you don't understand the honors and traditions that's necessary in the military here. The military does love this, and what their answer would be leadership projection or professional appearance. Like the military uniform is more than just the clothes. Everyone should literally look the same. That's kind of what they're going for here, not just with their clothes. And so,
yeah, I've always thought that with them too.
Well, I mean, that's just how it is. I'll tell you what their response would be, and that your leader should be someone who looks like they take care of themselves and they have discipline. And like so, what he said with fat generals. This is what I talk about General Miley a lot. General Miley, the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I remember like watching this guy the last like 8 years, whatever. I was like, that's a big dude. I remember watching. I was like, I cannot believe that guy. I actually still can't believe that he was the leader of the Joint Chiefs because the Army, a lot of it is based on your command photo. How do you look in your uniform? Do you look like a soldier? And that actually goes a long way. So when he said no fat generals, I know he was talking about that guy. 100% guarantee he was talking about that guy. But yeah, the Army has changed a lot with how he mentioned that there's no PT test. And he said that because the PT test has changed. It's now the Army Combat Fitness Test. And the old PT test used to be push-ups, sit-ups, and 2-mile run. And so, that depended on your age and your gender. But now it's just one standard, and it's based on your job, which makes a lot more sense because everyone's standard was the same. So like if you run 2 miles, you need to run it in less than 17 minutes. And if you run it in more, you fail the test. But like you said, if you work with computers, you don't need to be as fast as someone who is a Navy SEAL or whatever. And honestly, the 2-mile run is kind of absurd. I would always say this, that there is no scenario in modern warfare where you're running 2 miles in shorts. It's just not happening. If that happens, that means you've lost the war. It's kind of ridiculous, but it is. Like, it's insane. Now, the combat fitness test did keep the 2-mile, but it kept the other tests to something you could use, like carrying someone on a sled. Can you carry a 180-pound man or drag a 180-pound man on a sled for however many yards? Like that's actually combat efficient. Like that's something you could actually do, but the rest of them are kind of absurd. But listening to Pete Hegseth, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, I get, like, yeah, like if you are being actively deployed, you should be able to carry your part. Like that makes sense.
Yes.
You're able to rely on your soldiers to do a certain amount of physical activity. That makes perfect sense to me. Uniform across the entire military, as I said, I don't get why general, why they're not going out and fighting. Like why would they? That would be some use
stupid
of resources for the United States military. So like why does it matter how physically fit they are? If they can sit in front of a computer like I am right now, they can do their goddamn job like I can right now. I don't understand.
John, you clearly don't understand the importance of putting 60-year-old men on the front lines and having them carry 20 pounds of equipment in one arm each and then going forward. I don't know. It is kind of crazy, but yeah, the beards. This is one, we don't have time, but Pete Hegseth is going after beards in the military. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that too? And so, yeah, it's, the beard one is absurd because in the military, you can't have a beard unless you have a medical condition in which you get razor bumps, and then you can grow like a short beard. And that usually affects black soldiers. And so, of course, he's getting rid of that one. But it's for the same reason. They say, well, the uniform means everyone looks the same. No one has a beard. But you can also get a religious exemption, which is stupid, too. Like saying that you want a beard is bad, but if God wants you to have one, it's okay. I don't know.
It also is just like, yeah, so like that's another just to point to this direction.
Yeah.
If you are making someone shave their beard and it makes them less effective in combat because now they have razor bumps. Why? What? How the fuck? Why does it matter? Why do I care what kind of facial hair the man who's supposed to be protecting me with a gun has. It is absurd. I will never understand. It's one of the reasons, I mean, there's many reasons I didn't join the military, but from a young age, that was like one of the first things, like, what the fuck? Why would I do that? Why don't they just say no? Like, why don't they just grow the beard? And if they don't want me, then good, I'll go somewhere else to work.
I hate to be the one defending the military here with the beard. I'm not. I just want to give that the reason here. So the reason they will tell you, because people do ask this question, because other militaries have beards. Like if you look at in the old days, like you kind of had to have a beard to be in the military. But with the military will say that if the reason that everyone has to be clean shaven is because of gas masks. And if you put your gas mask on and you have a beard, it could prevent the gas mask from sealing properly. And then you have, poison gas leaking in the gas mask, less effective. Now, I always heard in the military that was bullshit, that's just something they say to, make sure that the beard thing is covered because they want it for uniform reasons. But I actually looked up the information on it, and it's true that even an 1/8 of an inch beard, like as small as a beard that you could have with calling beard, does present some risk in gas mask sealing. But then I go to my second argument here is that it's not fucking World War I. We're not doing a lot of gas warfare. Okay, it is extremely rare that ever happens. And
if you know if you know you're gonna do it, you can just shave.
And if it's that goddamn important, why are there religious exemptions then? Yeah, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that you can't get a beard because of the gas mask danger unless you're a Sikh. And then you could have a massive beard, going down here, or you're like practicing Norse paganism. But I don't know. All right. We're getting to the end of the show here. John, any big announcements this week?
Yes, we will not be having a show on Thursday. And I did say this last week, TJ, because I will be getting married on Friday. So both me and TJ are going to be in sunny San Diego for my wedding. It'll be the first time me and TJ see each other in real life. And you will be seeing at least some photos and videos of us together. We will not be doing a show. We'll have to set that up at some point, TJ, where we do an in-person show together.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But it'll be the first time of us meeting. We're very excited about it. So make sure to follow us both on the Left Wing social media channels, where we'll be posting pictures, and on our own to see the greatest crossover episode that we've ever witnessed.
Fantastic. All right. Catch you guys next week.